So I started hearing a little rattle from the front of the Liberty. So started it up the other day, popped the hood, and the AC compressor clutch bearing sounds like that's bad. There's quite a rattle there. So picked up a new bearing. I'll get the Jeep started, put the camera up there, see if we can hear that rattle, and you can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll go on about fixing it. Okay, so you'll be able to see when the clutch engages, and you'll be able to hear, hopefully on the camera you can hear the rattling that's coming off of this. So if you can hear that, hopefully you can hear it. That's what I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to shut this motor off, get the belt out of the way, and see if I can feel any play in there. So there's an idler pulley, 5/8 inch. You just put on the head of that, turn it, it's going to bring that pulley up to give you some tension, pop that belt off. From there, so I've already got this started, you want to get that center bolt out before you can pull the clutch assembly off. It's going to want to rotate, so what I did is I took a piece of pipe and caught the lip of this ring here and had it mounted against something down there, solid frame I think, but it kept this all from turning while I loosened that bolt. So I got that loose. I'm gonna get that the rest of the way out, and then we'll see what's next. So just after getting the bolt out of there, this is still on there pretty solid, the clutch assembly. I'm gonna need to get a puller. Might have to take some more of this apart to actually have room for it, but just getting that bolt head out of there, you can see the play in that bearing now. This whole assembly's in there still pretty solid, but you can, like I say, you can see the play from that that bearing wobble. That's where I'm getting all the rattle from. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of a puller, which I don't have, and continue this a little later. Stick around. Okay, so I was able to borrow a puller. I should spring for one of these. I try to do all my own maintenance as much as I possibly can. But anyway, I borrowed one from my neighbor, and obviously there's not enough room for it. So looks like I'm gonna have to take the electric fan out of the way. I think I can get that out easy enough. Probably take me a few minutes, but if I get the fan out of the way, I don't think I'll have to remove the radiator. If I do, I'm going to find a different way to do it, but should just be able to take the fan out and then have room to get the puller on there. So that'll be the next step. The electric fan comes out really easy. There's this plug right here, just your normal pop the red clip back. You can see it hanging down there. Squeeze and pull, popped right off. Then right here, down here, there's a 10mm there and one on the other side just like it. You take those two 10mm screws out, unplug that electrical connector, and then I'll get the camera set up and you can see just, sorry I'm bouncing you all over, but pull out that 10mm over here, disconnect that connector, get this flap under from out from under that bracket, and then the electric fan lifts right out of there. Now I should have room You still want to be careful not to hit your radiator there, but that should give me room to get in here, get this puller on there. So this is going to take me a minute to get set up, so I'll be back. Okay, you can see I got the puller on there, and for this particular one, found my 16mm wrench is what's fitting it. It's pushing, but at the same time the outer, it's still wanting to turn, so I'm thinking about just putting a pry bar, a pipe or something in to keep it from spinning. Otherwise I'm trying to hold it with one and push on the other, and I'm kind of pushing against myself with not much leverage. So let me grab something here. Got this handy piece of square stock I'm just going to put in between them. And that should start pulling off. Alright. Sure you saw that pop and break loose. She moved a ways. So keep going and get this thing off here. I may have to move these up. I'm not sure because I'm getting toward the end of the threads there, so we'll see how this plays out. It looks like it's almost off though. It's just getting stiff. And I want to be real careful by my radiator here. So I think I'm going to stop and readjust. And well, I mean, I'm still going to be, if I readjust these in, I'm still going to have the threaded rod this far back, but all the mechanics will be up closer on it, because now I'm getting toward the end of the threads that are probably less used, and I don't know if they're, well, might be almost off. Now my wrench is kind of bound up in here. Got a bad angle to press. So let's see. Oh, never mind. Here we go. Alright, so this bearing right here is what I suspect to be bad and bought a new one. Hopefully that's where the problem was. Everything feels pretty tight there, so I don't think it's in there. I think it's still going to be right here, the problem. So, interesting. Now I got to figure out how to get this apart. I don't want to buy a whole new clutch assembly because they're pretty expensive compared to just changing out the bearing, but I see where they've nippled that, so that's pressed in. So we'll see if this is something I'm going to be able to continue working on and fix myself, or if I'm going to have to well, I still think I can fix it myself. It's just a matter of being able to, if I can change out this bearing, or if I'm going to have to change out the whole clutch assembly, and hopefully not, but we'll see what we can do. So as you can see, I got the clutch assembly apart and the coil, but doing home maintenance, sometimes, most often, you save yourself a lot of money. Sometimes things go wrong. So in this case, I think I got a little ahead of myself. I don't know if I broke this or if it was part of the problem originally, but I think I screwed it up. So just to show you that sometimes things go wrong and end up costing you money, but I don't know what this is going to cost in the end. But so I got everything off, got ahead of myself during the disassembly, and there's a snap ring that I didn't remove. So as you've seen me working the pulley puller and it snapped loose, what that did is broke off the end of this shaft. There's a groove here that the snap ring goes into, then there's just a little bit left of this shaft, enough to hold that snap ring. So it looks pretty clean around most of it, so I'm assuming that that's what happened. Is I didn't take that snap ring off, I put that puller on, and I think I broke that. I don't think it was part of the original problem. Unfortunately, that's part of the compressor. So as you can see, thanks to the internet, I was able to find a belt that fits, that bypasses the compressor so the vehicle's drivable, and it's winter in Michigan, so we're not going to need air conditioning anyway. So for right now, we're going to bypass it, and at a later date, I'm going to have to spring for a new compressor and have our air conditioning replaced, or our air conditioning compressor and whatever goes along with that. But that's one I'm not going to tackle. I'm not pulling that air conditioning compressor out and doing all that. So this was a valuable lesson and probably an expensive mistake. We'll find out at a later date what this is going to cost me, but I gotta, like I said, thanks to the internet, there was a video that showed a bypass that they told what belt fit. Fortunately, our local parts store a couple miles from my house had one in stock, so threw that on. Jeep's drivable. That's important right now. You'll find out why soon, because we're down a vehicle, so we need this one running. But that video will come soon, so be ready for that. That's kind of a big one. Not a long video, but kind of a big hit to our Jeep fleet. So I'm gonna get this fired. I'm gonna put the electric fan back on, get the electric fan back in here, get it put back together, and get it ready to drive it. So humbling, embarrassing, sucks, but it's real. Some things happen sometimes when you make mistakes, so let it be a lesson to you so you don't make the same expensive mistake. But other than that, like I said, I'm gonna throw this electric fan back in, get that bolted in and plugged in, and that's it. It's back to running for now. It's running, but minus AC, which I don't need in the winter in Michigan. So see ya.